All right, the Farm Friends update patch notes have officially released this morning. Now, this one is going to be extremely exciting. Now, I did not expect them to be giving us as much as they are, but let's talk about exactly what it is we'll be getting. Now, this first one is not going to come to anybody's surprise, but yes, the animals are ready to move in. So not only are we going to be able to recruit these animals back to our village, we're going to actually be able to set up some really cool places for them to live. Now, the animals we can recruit are going to be cows, sheep, chickens, and a new animal arriving with this update, which we've all saw in leaks, which is going to be pigs. Now, how are we going to recruit these and where are they going to go? Well, that's very simple because we will be getting a animal house with this update. So you're going to be able to create these new stations. I'm assuming they're going to act very similar to beds to villagers, but we're going to be able to assign animals to these. And all you need to do is unlock the house recipe by reaching a level 2 village. Now, recruiting these animals isn't going to be as simple as just dropping down vines on the ground. We're actually going to get something new, which is going to be called animal treats. However, these things alone, based on what I'm reading here in the update patch notes, is not going to do the job. So what Epic has done is made this a little bit more of a challenge for us, where we can't just simply pet them and now all of a sudden they're on our side. They are alluding to the fact that the best way to the animal's heart is through its stomach, but you also need to build the trust of these animals. And to do that, we're not only going to have to feed them animal treats, but we're also going to have a limited amount of time that we're going to have to get them back to the village. So they're also stating that we need to make sure this is a peaceful journey because any unpleasant encounters might upset them and cause them to run off. So I'm assuming if you run into like skellies or brutes on your journey back to your village, they are not going to be having that whatsoever and will cause you to lose that animal. They're also suggesting that we get creative with how we bring them back to the village. So some of the things that they're mentioning is that we can lure them into a vehicle. You could also use fishing rods to pull them across tight spots, or cross barriers by building bridges. So if you run into any type of rivers or obstacles that are getting in your way, to just build bridges to get them to cross those rivers, because it sounds like they're not going to be able to swim, which makes total sense. Now, the last thing they're mentioning here too is that there's going to be health points assigned to these animals. So if they get hurt on the journey, they're suggesting to also give them animal treats to heal them up so they can make it safely back to the village. Now, as I stated earlier, I did believe that these animal houses would operate very similar to beds for villagers, and that's exactly how they're going to work. Now, not only can you assign just one animal per house, you can also name it from a pre-selection of names, which is kind of cool, I guess. Hopefully, eventually down the line, we could get some custom naming. That would be really neat. Now, similar to the mechanic of luring them back to your village, not just being as simple as throwing them some food and all of a sudden you have an animal, the same goes for keeping them happy on your farm. So you'll have to feed them, pet them, or having a boogie next to them, which honestly, I don't really know what that is. So please don't beat me up in the comments. And then last but not least, if you ignore them, they will not stick around. So make sure we assign villagers to take care of them, which takes us to the next part of the update. It looks like we're actually getting 5 new villagers. So the first one we have is Cadence, who is a master woodworker. We also have Ash, who's going to be working with plants. And then we have Brooks, who's all about channeling nature's beat. Now, I don't know exactly what that means, but we'll find out when tomorrow's update comes. And then we have 2 additional ones here where we have an engineer called Lena Lane. And then last we have Guernsey, I think is how you say it. Sorry for the mispronounce there, but it just says that they are one of a kind. So this is going to be really cool. I'm excited. I love when they bring new villagers to the game. However, I think that they should work on expanding the number because right now we're still limited to only having 20. Okay, so for the Beware the Bear section of this update, I'm extremely pumped about. Now, I know there had been leaks in the past about this, and I think we saw this one coming, but honestly, I'm super pumped. Now, they're telling us that bears equal bad, which I think we all already know, and it says, don't let them follow you back to your village because you'll never hear the end of it. Now, I want to say one thing. I hope that they don't allow the bears to actually cause damage to your structures. That would be quite annoying if they could come in and just break down all your hard work. Maybe they can just take out your animals. I would be totally fine with that. So maybe it adds a little bit of a sentimental dynamic to your animals where you name them and you have them around for a long time, and then all of a sudden a bear comes in and just wreaks havoc on them. It does add a little bit of a different dynamic to the game, which would be quite cool in my opinion. And then last, they're saying, thankfully, they're quiet, sleepy, and can be easily avoided as long as you're quiet. So now they're also bringing in the use of the sneak mechanic, because quite honestly, it wasn't really useful at all in the past. So next up, we have new animal variants that will be coming for both the chicken and the cows. Now, from what I'm seeing here, it sounds like the different variants are going to be based on which biome you find them in. So for example, they're stating that the brown and tan chickens will be in the dry valley, yellow in the grasslands. And then there's also that frosty looking one up in the top left there, which I'm assuming will be in the actual Frostlands. They're not explicitly stating that, but we can only assume based on the colors. And then last, it's just saying that the cows have different spots and patterns on them, because the color variants, in my opinion, look very similar to the ones that were already in the game. So I'm really not sure what's going on there. For a controversial topic, which is the bundles in the shop, we have the Anarchy Acres bundle that will be coming with tomorrow's update. Now, it does appear that they listened to the community's feedback on the pricing, because this one's only going to be 800 V-Bucks. Now, it doesn't come with as many things as some of the other bundles, so that's probably why the price is reduced a bit. But nonetheless, I will be getting this one and showcasing it and giving my honest feedback on what this actually comes with. So let's talk about that for a moment, though. So you can get the fully furnished farm that comes with 3 prefab builds, which you're seeing here in the screenshot, and also you get a couple different decor bundles with that particular one. Now, if you were to get the hospitality decor bundle on its own, it's going to be 600 V-Bucks. So it almost sounds like the fully furnished one will be the way to go. And then last, they have a farmer's favorite, which is just basically a decor bundle with 9 different items. Now, I don't know if these are particularly separate. We'll have to see, but they're saying that that one alone is going to be 400 V-Bucks. Now, I am equally as excited about this next one, which is going to be talking about the major improvements, adjustments, and bug fixes that are going to be coming tomorrow. Now, the first one is village square improvements. So what this is going to do is it's going to revamp and keep a little bit more of a UI focused on your actual villagers. Now, these things, you can monitor who lives there. There's backstories of the villagers. Also, you can gauge the happiness of your animals, which is going to be extremely awesome. And then you also can check out the jobs of the villagers and even ask them to leave through this brand new UI. And you can also see who's visiting your village, which biome you're in, and then also it lists out your village upgrade requirements, which was already in the game, but it looks like there's just an overhaul of the UI for that particular screen. And then last but not least, you can edit your village banner and rename the village from a selection of names. All right, so we've got some bug fixes coming with tomorrow's update as well. And I gotta be honest with you, I was a little underwhelmed when reading through this list. I don't think they've really tackled a lot of the major things that are impacting people's world and overall bringing down the player experience when playing Lego Fortnite. However, we have to be happy that they're at least working on some of these things and bringing them to us as they can. Now, the first one is where they're going to be fixing if stamina was turned off in somebody's world, it was sometimes becoming enabled, which could be extremely frustrating. They're also going to fix the issue where saplings that you tried to destroy and remove from a spot would just continue to grow. That was super annoying and one that I am actually extremely happy about. Next, we have where swords would sometimes stop doing damage and also where the first attack would miss. I haven't experienced that myself, but for anybody who was, I'm sure that was pretty annoying. Also, pickaxes stop doing certain damage to certain objects. Again, never really experienced it, but happy to see that they're fixing that. And then also, villagers no longer pestering players when players are regenerating health. Not really sure what they mean by that, and it doesn't seem like a big deal, but some people must have been complaining about that, which is why they decided to fix it. And then last, we have starting a sneak while sprinting no longer makes players stuck in sprinting. Now, last up, we have some more Lego styling, which means that existing Fortnite characters are now crossing over into a Lego variant. Now, this list is about 50 characters. I just lost count. I didn't even want to go through, and I can't read all of them because there are so many of them. So let's just kind of scroll through here and just see if anything stands out. So we got Blue Striker, Brainstorm, Bunny Wolf. We've even got Devastator, Crossheart, Double Helix, Fable, Far Out Man, Galaxy Crossfade, Glow, Gumbo, Huntress, King Crab, Lennox Rose, Meow Skulls, which is a variant of Meowscles. That one's actually a pretty cool skin. All of these things, if you already own them in your Lego Fortnite locker, you now have instant access to the Lego variant, which is really cool, and I hope they continue to do this. Now, as you go through this list, like I said, it is very expansive. I highly recommend, if you're interested in the full list, I'm going to link these patch notes in the description, so go ahead and check them out for yourself. Now, this update has a lot more to unpack than I thought was coming with it, to be honest with you, and I am super excited for it. I will be building out my farm starting tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed this update coverage. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe for future Lego Fortnite content. Thanks again for tuning in. I will catch you in the next one.